America has always called itself the land of immigrants. It's in the country's DNA, a place built on the promise of opportunity for anyone willing to cross the ocean. And yet today, that promise is tangled in one of the most chaotic immigration systems in the world. Meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, Singapore, a city-state smaller than New York, quietly runs one of the most controlled strategic immigration programs you'll ever see. Open chaos versus careful design. One nation bets on scale, the other on precision. The question is, who's actually winning? America's immigration story is one of both ambition and contradiction. On paper, it's generous. Roughly 1 million people gain legal entry each year, and millions more live in the country without documentation. The system was designed to welcome families, to honor the idea of the United States as a nation built by immigrants. But in practice, it's messy. Green card queues can stretch decades. High-skilled workers from India or China often wait 15 to 20 years for permanent residency, trapped in a system designed for fairness but slowed by bureaucracy and political gridlock. Meanwhile, lower-skilled workers can slip through temporary programs, filling gaps in agriculture, construction, or service sectors, yet without a clear path to long-term stability. Political battles make reform nearly impossible. Democrats and Republicans can't agree on whether the priority should be border security, humanitarian responsibility, or economic needs. Every attempt to streamline the system ends up caught in partisan arguments. And the human cost is enormous. Families separated for years, workers stuck in temporary jobs, unable to fully plan their lives, cities grappling with housing shortages while trying to integrate newcomers. The system works, in a sense, because millions still come and build lives. But it's a constant tension, a machine running at full scale, but often off balance. America's approach values openness, scale, and opportunity. It bets that the sheer number of people coming in will fuel innovation, cultural richness, and economic growth. But the downside is chaos, unpredictability, and a system that can feel both slow and unfair. It's immigration by volume, ambitious, sprawling, and fundamentally American. Singapore is a different story entirely. A city-state smaller than Manhattan, with less than 6 million people, yet nearly 40% of its population is foreign-born. Unlike America, Singapore does not see immigration as a moral duty or a right. It is a carefully managed tool, a lever to shape the economy, fill skill gaps, and maintain social stability. The system is highly structured. There are tiers. High-skilled professionals enter on employment passes or the tech pass. Mid-skilled workers get S-passes, and low-wage laborers are brought in under work permits. Each category has quotas and rules, and these numbers are adjusted regularly to match labor demand, economic growth, and social tolerance. Paths to permanent residency and citizenship exist, but they are selective, competitive, and far from guaranteed. Singapore doesn't simply open its doors. It chooses who it wants, not just based on family ties or luck, but on what value a person brings to the nation. Every visa, every permit, every quota is calculated with the country's long-term goals in mind. The result is a system that feels orderly, almost surgical. High-rise offices are filled with foreign tech talent, finance executives, and skilled professionals. Construction sites and factories rely on migrant labor, but even here, numbers are carefully managed to prevent social strain. Immigration is not random. It is a strategy, a set of levers pulled to grow GDP, attract global talent, and preserve national cohesion. Singapore's approach is the opposite of America's. While the US bets on openness and scale, Singapore bets on precision and planning. It is a system designed to produce maximum economic impact with minimum social disruption. And for a country that cannot rely on natural resources or a large domestic market, immigration is not just policy, it is survival. The contrast between America and Singapore isn't just about numbers or bureaucracy, it's a clash of philosophy. America's immigration system is built on ideals. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That famous line captures the nation's self-image. Immigration here is moral, almost sacred. It is about giving opportunity, upholding human rights, and maintaining the idea of the United States as a melting pot. But ideals come with trade-offs. When policy is guided by morality rather than precision, chaos is inevitable. Decisions are slow, Reforms are blocked, and the system struggles to balance openness with practical constraints. Singapore, by contrast, treats immigration as a tool. Every permit, every quota, every pathway to residency is designed with a clear goal: economic growth, social stability, and long-term planning. Singapore doesn't argue about morality. It calculates. Who contributes to the economy? Who fits the city's labor and talent needs? Who can be integrated without upsetting social balance? Every entry is intentional. This philosophical difference shapes outcomes. America values freedom and opportunity above control. Singapore values control and efficiency above freedom. One system welcomes people first and manages consequences later. The other evaluates, plans, and then admits. By the time most people arrive, they feel the effects of these philosophies. In the US, immigrants face unpredictability, long waits, and systemic friction. In Singapore, they find clarity, structure, and sometimes exclusivity, but also opportunity if they meet the country's strategic criteria. In short, the American system is open by default. Singapore's system is selective by design. And this clash isn't just academic. It has real consequences for citizens, for workers, and for the future of each nation. The philosophical differences between America and Singapore ripple through every part of society and the economy. In the US, the scale and openness of immigration drives innovation and cultural diversity. Silicon Valley thrives on engineers from India, China, and Europe. Restaurants, neighborhoods, and universities flourish because of newcomers bringing skills, ideas, and perspectives. Yet the system's unpredictability also creates friction. Wages in certain sectors can stagnate. Communities can struggle to integrate sudden population surges. Housing becomes unaffordable in cities with high immigrant inflows. And political polarization deepens as citizens debate who belongs, who benefits, and who pays the cost. The American model creates opportunity on a massive scale, but it also creates mess, tension, and uncertainty. Singapore's approach produces very different outcomes. By carefully managing who enters, the city-state can maximize economic impact while minimizing social disruption. Foreign talent fills critical gaps in finance, tech, and healthcare. Mid- and low-skilled workers power construction, logistics, and services without overwhelming the social fabric. GDP grows steadily, the labor market remains relatively balanced, and long-term planning becomes possible. The cost? Many locals feel the squeeze. Rising housing prices, competition for jobs, and occasional resentment toward foreign talent. And citizenship is hard to obtain, meaning many migrants contribute to the economy without fully joining the nation's social life. The contrast is stark. America gains scale and diversity, but at the cost of control and predictability. Singapore gains efficiency and economic precision, but at the cost of openness and flexibility. Both models work, but in fundamentally different ways, producing winners and losers depending on which measure you value most: opportunity or order, chaos or control. So who really wins in this battle of immigration models? The answer isn't simple. If you measure success by scale, diversity, and the sheer number of people who can seek a better life, America takes the lead. Its system is messy, chaotic, and often unfair, but it creates a constant flow of talent, ideas, and opportunity. Innovation thrives in this unpredictability, and the nation remains a magnet for dreamers from around the world. Singapore, on the other hand, wins when it comes to control, precision, and economic efficiency. Every immigrant admitted serves a purpose. Every quota, every policy, every permit is designed to strengthen the country's economy and maintain social balance. For a small nation with limited resources, this isn't just smart, it's survival. The real lesson lies somewhere in the middle. America shows us the power of openness, how letting people in can transform a nation, but also how chaos can creep in when systems aren't managed. Singapore shows us the power of design, how careful planning can maximize benefit, but also how rigidity can limit human potential and personal freedom. In the 21st century, immigration is more than people crossing borders. It's a tool for shaping economies, societies, and futures. Open or controlled, chaotic or precise, each nation reflects its priorities. And the question isn't just who wins, it's what kind of society we want to build. In the end, America and Singapore aren't really competing in the same race. One is a vast, diverse superpower trying to stay true to its ideals. The other is a small, hyper-strategic city-state fighting for survival in a competitive region. Both use immigration to build their futures, but they play by different rules. The United States bets on scale, hoping that in the chaos, innovation and resilience will always emerge. Singapore bets on precision, believing that careful planning will keep the country stable and prosperous. Neither approach is perfect. Both have costs. But together, they show us that immigration is not just about who gets to cross a border. It's about the kind of society a nation chooses to be.